sure everything's good. All right, audio sounds good. Looks like we're ready to rock and roll. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the New England Patriots rebuild in Madden 24. It's your boy Malin. Here we are starting up part 3. We are in the second season of the rebuild. Now, as I mentioned in the last one, we had to restart things over because us as the coach, we created Bill Belichick, and we got fired after the first season after we went 5-12. I still am trying to kind of keep that as sort of the measuring stick that we have to go on, but but in this time frame last season we actually went 10-7 and we made the playoffs. We won the division and we lost in the first round in the wild card round though. So obviously, this is still a rebuild. It is not complete, and it is a matter of just getting the Patriots back into a Super Bowl contending team, and that's like with the Cardinals, trying to do the same thing here in New England. So we're here in week 1 against Seattle. We're going to go ahead and simulate to the middle of the season, and we're going to see where we're at for the second year of this rebuild. Hopefully everybody's having a good Monday. Day off from work. Just wanted to get some Madden gameplay going. Hopefully this is another rebuild that I can fully complete. And a rebuild obviously is completed, at least in my mind, when you lead a team to the championship. So that's what I'm trying to do here with the Patriots once again. Get them back to their old ways and get them to win another Super Bowl and add more to the trophy case. So hopefully the second year goes okay, and we're on the verge of being a playoff team, or we make the playoffs again. And once we get in the playoffs this season, then we'll continue from there and try to complete this rebuild and hopefully be able to finish it. We did lose some guys. We have some injuries, so we'll see how things go this year. It could be a down year because we are losing some players from last year's team, and we're going to have some decisions to make about some of our younger players, see if we can keep some of them. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully by the week 7 we're not too bad, but we'll see what we're looking like. Yeah. All right, and we are awful. Okay, well, it's called a rebuild for a reason, guys. We are 1-5. We are at the bottom. All right, let me actually take a look at our schedule and see who we even beat. because this rebuild may take a little bit. We beat the Seahawks in the first week, and we've lost every game since. We lost to the 49ers by 29. We lost to the Titans by 3. Lost to the Packers by 17. Lost to the Bills by 6. And we lost to the Texans by 18 points. Wow. So we are getting off to a pretty rough start, needless to say. Let's take a look at the stats at the midpoint of the season and see kind of how we're doing. Like I said, I'm open to having a new quarterback instead of Mac Jones. I mean, he has 7 touchdowns and 7 picks. He's thrown for 1,600 so far. His rating isn't that bad. Stevenson, as our main running back now, only has 361 yards for the year, but he leads us in rushing touchdowns. Our rookie Henderson out of Ohio State, he has 1 and 110 on the season. But we're going pretty much to a one-back offense for this season. So it's Stevenson as the main leader in rushing. All right, let's take a look at our receiving core. So our leader in receiving yards is Mike Gesicki. Wow. And Bourne has 367, and Juju is behind him. Well, we didn't really do any upgrading with the receiving core. The only thing we did significantly this offseason was bring back Kendrick Bourne. And Gesicki is also our leader in receiving touchdowns. So our offense really hasn't been very good for the first part of the seaon. Bentley is our leading tackler with 31 solo, 7 assisted. Does anybody have any interceptions? Jabril Peppers, so far, looks like has our only interception of the season. Do we even have... Who has, like, the most sacks? Now it looks like Matthew Judon. Okay, well, Judon is back in the fold. He has 5. Christian Barrymore has... and it looks like Peppers has 1. So as far as kicking, 5 of 9. Chad Ryland has gone 5 of 9. And, yeah, punting, it is what it is. Looks like Douglas is doing an okay job as our punt returner so far this season. But overall, this is a pretty tough second year. We're not doing very well in year 2. We didn't really lose a whole lot of big significant names from last year's team. This season, we really didn't upgrade a whole lot in free agency. We did draft, a lot of young players, but to start 1-5 is pretty bad. But we can upgrade some players, and we get ready to play the Dolphins. And how are they doing this season? Well, let's see. Well, they're 3-3. The Bills are 6-1, so they are leading the AFC East. And based on that margin, I don't think we have really a chance of catching them. Maybe even the Jets, because the Jets are 4-3. I assume that Aaron Rodgers is playing quarterback for them now. So that's a little bit underwhelming, but then again, Rodgers is getting up there in age, so not too surprising. But we have we got a game against the Dolphins. But first, we got to go ahead and take a look at the negotiating screen and see which players we need to consider bringing back. We do have a lot of cap room, so that's fortunate. Landon Collins is a guy, but he's not really interested in re-signing. But Jabril, I think, is a guy that we need to try to see if we could bring back. Let's go ahead and start with this neutral deal and work our way up. Offers perfect. Can't wait for next season. All right, so we've got Peppers, so that's good. They didn't eat up a whole lot. I definitely want to bring back Judon. He's 87. He's one of our best players. Excited to stay. Great. So we've got Peppers and Judon, 2 of the backbone guys for the defense. Grover Stewart is 86. He fits our scheme as well, so I want to see if I can get him for 1 more year kind of on the cheap and have him still plug up the middle. Stevenson, I want to keep him to continue to develop. He does fit the scheme as well. Let's see if we can get him. Happy to sign. Great. $88 million now. We're kind of dropping down here. David Andrews has been with us for a while, but I think he still probably has 1 more good year left in him. Let's see if we can keep him. Exactly the offer he was hoping for. Great. Perfect. All right. But everybody else, we kind of may have to look beyond that. I mean, Jonathan Jones. Jones, I don't know. A lot of these guys are interested in coming back, so that's kind of good. And Mac Jones. Look, if Mac Jones can't do any better than what he's doing right now, and we miss out on the playoffs and we have a bad season, I'm going to just say, you know what? Might be time to move on to a new quarterback. That's just kind of what I'm thinking right now. Just being straight up. I think, Godchuk we may have to let walk. Same with Glasgow. Because we'll look at free agency and see if we can get anybody else. I kind of want to just maybe stick to the guys in the 80s as bringing them back. I think Jonathan Jones is somebody who we could bring back. Happy to sign. Great. Except for Jelani, because I don't think because he's not really interested in re-signing, and I think we can get a better right outside linebacker than him, in all honesty. But Wise I want to bring back because I really like what he's done. He's 80, offers perfect, can't wait. Cool. All right. So now Barrymore, I think, even though he's done some pretty decent things, I may have to hold off on that. Adrian Phillips, his interest really isn't up there, and I think we need to move on to a better free safety anyway. And then same thing with Bond. Maybe we can bring back Burton. He's probably not going to ask for a whole lot of money. And then the rest of these guys, I think, can probably hit the road. As far as Mac Jones, I don't really know. Do we keep him for 1 more season and try? But the problem is that kind of like with Kyler Murray, He's 76 overall. Now, fortunately, unlike with the Kyler Murray situation with Arizona, he's not getting a hefty contract that's eating up a whole lot of the cap space. So, that's at least something that's positive. But at the same time, we need to consider, moving on. We have no injuries, so this is all happening without really anybody being significantly out for a long period of time. So that's kind of a little bit discouraging. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. All right, well, we got the 3-3 Dolphins. Let's see what happens in this game, and then we got the Jets next week. So we got a couple of AFC opponents, AFC East opponents on deck. Well, we lost another one. We lost by 7 to the Jets. Upgrade players. Let's go ahead and do that. Well, our coach may be on the chopping block if this season ends up being only a less than 5-win season, because we have a pretty talented team, at least I think, based on what I put together. And for the coach to not really do a good job, this is really discouraging, because right now our head coach, it's not Bill Belichick, it's a guy that's made up.
Welcome to your franchise staff.
Peter Gaffney. I mean, Peter, if this is the best that you can do, we may have to get rid of this entire staff, for real, because this is unacceptable if you ask me. Now, although if we have one of the worst seasons in the league of any team, we'll probably be getting a first overall pick, but still, that's not very good. All right, well, we have the Jets this week. They're 4-4. Let's see if we can get another upset, but not another upset, but a upset win. We'll see what happens with this. All right, well, we actually won. We actually won by 3 points. We scored 45 points on offense. That's probably the most we've scored all season. I guess Mac Jones had a little bit of a better game. I don't know how much of momentum that's really going to have, but who knows. We're still in the 80s, so we're about the same as kind of the Cardinals are ranked, which is who we play next. Got to answer a media question, of course. At 2-6, you're under 500. It's really all needs to be said. This group of guys, absolutely, I believe this team is better than the record, but if we're not, then there's going to be changes. Absolutely, there will be changes. And it's going to start at the top. Not with me, but with the head coach. But I want to see who gets fired potentially, and then kind of take a look at what we can do with that. All right. Well, we're playing a team that's just as bad as us. We're playing the 1-7 Cardinals. We're 2-6. They're 1-7. Hopefully, we do not lose this game, but I won't be surprised if we do. This probably has to be the matchup this year of the two worst teams in the league. So, So we actually beat the Cardinals by 11. We have a breakout scenario. Let's talk about our linebacker. Pay attention to Jonathan. Keep an eye. All right. Yeah. All right. So our right side linebacker is playing a little bit better. Encouraging, but I don't know if we're going to keep him long term. We'll have to wait and kind of see. Scouting focus. Let's go ahead and delegate that decision to the staff. Let's go ahead and upgrade some guys. I'm going to go back to the negotiating screen and see if there's anybody that now I can negotiate with who I even want to consider bringing back. Because I may have, because usually during this process I have some secondary thoughts about who I want to keep and who I just want to let go. We have 66 million, so yeah. Mac Jones. I really don't know, guys. I really don't know. I think with Jones, I'm just going to have to wait until the end of the season, see what his stats are looking like, and then we'll make decisions. So I think as far as the negotiating, we're not really going to do anything until the last week of the season, like after the Super Bowl, because I think that's the last chance we get to negotiate with players. So we'll just wait until then. So we did get a win against the Cardinals, so we've actually won, I believe, back-to-back games for the first time all season. We're 3-6, but we're going on the road to play the best team in our division, the 8-1 Bills, who are probably just basically a juggernaut at this point. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully we don't lose by 15. Well, I shouldn't say 15. I mean 50 points. That's what I meant to say. Hopefully we don't lose by 40 or 50, but we'll see. Well, we only lost by 23. That's not too bad, but it's not good either. Message from the breakout player. It's probably that right outside linebacker. Didn't have the game. It's my fault. Either messed right his talent or didn't put him in good position. Well, I mean, he's not even really interested in re-signing, so we're going to move on from him. I'm looking, already at the end of this season. I know it's hard. I know it's bad to say that, Coach, but that's what we're doing because right now, this team that I put together, I think is better than what the record says they are, at least what I thought it was going to be. I mean, we went from a playoff team last year to 3-7, and we have no shot at making the playoffs now. We're at the bottom of our division again. So yeah, there are gonna be some changes that are gonna be made with coaching. So don't get used to being around here, if you know what I mean. All right. So and then on top of that, we got to play the Chiefs this week. All right, so that's gonna be fun. Oh man. All right. Well, hopefully we don't lose by 40 in this one. Sorry, my nose is still a little stuffy. We've had a lot of weather changes down here in the South Texas area where I live, so it's not been the most fun. And we beat the Chiefs by 21 points? Wow. What is this? Yeah. I mean, we're not really trying to tank, but jeez. And we're actually third place in the AFC East now, so we one-hopped the Jets. So pretty interesting. All right, well, for the heck of it, let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff picture. We're nowhere near in the hunt, but let's see. We got the Jags and the Texans, Raiders, Dolphins, Browns, Chiefs, and the Bills. Bills will probably have the best record in the NFL right now. So, that's a team that we got to get enough firepower to beat. They're the big brothers now. Got the Vikings and the Packers, Eagles and Cowboys, Niners and the Saints, and the Falcons have the best record in the NFC right now. Jeez, I would not expect that. But then again, I don't know what kind of changes they've made this offseason, so who knows? Maybe they got a new quarterback. Maybe they moved on from Ritter and they got somebody else. All right. Well, this is our second matchup against the Dolphins. They're 7-4. We're 4-7. We're just playing spoiler right now at this point. Although it's late in the season and they're coming to our place, so hopefully it'll be colder weather, what they're not used to. And we actually get a win against the Dolphins. So we're starting to win some games toward the end of the season and get some momentum, which, if we wanted to tank, that's not the best thing that we could do. But at the same time, we're not really going for the tank job because we could get, as far as quarterbacks are concerned, we could still potentially look at keeping Mac Jones for maybe one more season, or we're just going to move on in free agency or the draft entirely. So we'll kind of see what happens, what things look like at the end of the season. And we're playing our second game against the Jets. If we win this game, we're probably going to be a lock to finish third in the division, which is a small consolation, but we'll see. Well, we lost to the Jets by a lot. We lost by 33 points to the Jets, so we got blown out. So once again, the Jets have one-hopped us, and we also have 2 new injuries. Let's see who's hurt. Whoever's hurt, they may be out for the season. Wow. Jabril Peppers tore his PCL. Yeah, and Trent Brown tore his MCL. Yeah, well, these guys, unfortunately, are going to be shelved for the season. Wow. Well, I don't regret that we're bringing back Peppers next season. I'm a little bit... I wish this injury didn't happen because now it's going to be tougher. And Judon also suffered a broken finger, so we got banged up in that Jets game, big time. We lost one of our best offensive players. We lost 2 of our best players in that game alone. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a look at the depth chart and kind of see what we're looking like with those injuries. I may want to look at the waiver wire or the free agent pool and see if we can bring somebody in to just play, to just fill out the roster the rest of the season for the last few games, just so we're not as in terrible shape. Let me take a look at the depth chart right now. Let's see kind of what that does, because Trent Brown's our left tackle, so I don't know who is. So I got to look and see who's going to back him up. So right now we would have Mike in there. Calvin Anderson. Yeah. Let's actually change things up a little bit. So let's actually put Calvin Anderson in there and left tackle for right now. We're going to sign somebody off the waiver wire. And we're going to go ahead and put Mike back there. And we're going to have Fathere, and we'll keep Lowe there. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the waiver wire after I get done with this. We're not going to rock with him as our starting left tackle the rest of the season. Oh, Adrian, okay. So we have a guy named Marty Malpe, who's a 78 overall safety out of Sacramento State. I have no idea who he is. He doesn't even have a picture. So let's go ahead and take a look at the waiver wire, and let's bring in a left tackle and a strong safety. All right, let's go to free agents. Can't do any trades because the trade deadline's long gone. So let's see if we can bring in somebody off the scrap heap. Left tackle. Who's the best left tackle out there? Well, Donovan Smith is out there, and so's Cameron Fleming. He used to play for the Patriots a while ago. Well, let's go ahead and bring in Donovan Smith for the last few games of the season, and we'll have him start in place of Trent Brown, just so we can have a veteran there who knows what he's doing. And strong safety, Chuck Clark, bring him in, and he also fits our scheme. So let's go ahead and bring in Chuck Clark on a one-year deal. Let's bring him in for the last few games of the season to kind of fill the void for left by Jabril Peppers, and we'll rock with those guys for the rest of this season. Let's see kind of what that does with our depth chart, see what we're looking like, make sure we're all squared away. So yeah, Donovan Smith instantly becomes a massive upgrade anyway. So we've got him in there. We got Mike back in his natural position, so that's good. I really didn't want to put him out on the left tackle because if we can bring in somebody who's good enough to fill the void, that's cool. Now Chuck doesn't have is not much of an upgrade over Marty Mapu, but that's a veteran as opposed to that's a 7-year veteran out of Virginia Tech. So I'm okay with having Clark back there. Just for the last few games of the season. They're stopgap guys. That's all they are. They're bridge players. All right. We got a matchup against the 5-8 Ravens. A little bit surprised they're 5-8 with the 98 overall Lamar Jackson, but they must be struggling on offense and defense. Who knows? So, unfortunately, with the Jets' loss, we're back in the cellar of the AFC East again. Maybe we can get a significant win against, at least significant in our eyes, against the Ravens, and maybe we can one-hop the Jets back to third place in the division. I know it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, but be better than finishing last. Well, we lost to the Ravens by 7, not by much though. So we got the 8-6 Rams this week, and yeah, tough season overall. Had a lot of tough breaks, literally, with the injuries that we've had. So yeah. Now, the Rams are not rated really much better than us. We're actually ranked better than them on defense. Our offense is the same. And overall, we're 1 point better than them. But, that's why they play the game. All right, Week 16, going against the Rams. We'll see what happens. We can get another win. And we lost by 3. Now we've got 2 more games left, one against the Jaguars, and then our last game of the regular season against the Colts, which I will play, just to make sure that I get at least one game in with the year 2 version of this team. And we lost again. We lost by 18, and now we're going into our final game of our season against the Indianapolis Colts, who used to be in the AFC East, but with the realignment that happened years ago, not so much anymore. Well, they're 4-12, we're 5-11. Neither of us have anything to play for right now. Let's we're playing at home. It might be snowing in Foxborough, so let's see kind of what happens here. But we got the Colts. Let's try to get one more win before we wrap up year 2 of this rebuild. Let's go ahead and make sure we're wearing our. If it would just load, I don't know if it's going to load or not. All right, well now it did. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rock our regular uniforms. We're not wearing anything fancy for our final regular season game. I might go with the old Pat Patriot uniforms one game, but not in this one. All right, well, got one more game in our second season of the rebuild. Is this Mac Jones' final game for the Patriots as quarterback? If so, hopefully he goes out with a win. I mean, he's dipped to a 76. He hasn't really upgraded a lot significantly since. And we need a spark on that side at quarterback. So I think this may be it for Mac, unfortunately. And I don't think Mac Jones is an absolutely terrible, awful quarterback, but in Madden terms, he was decent last year, but this year with the changes that we've made that I thought were actually going to make us, a little bit better, and we're kind of going to keep the same nucleus. Essentially, in keeping the same nucleus of players, we really weren't any better. We were worse. So that doesn't make me feel too confident about that. But Kendrick Bourne gets us a first down off of a nice catch. Now, Bourne locked in for a few years I'm okay with because, he's one of our best receivers. I like him. And, we're probably just going to need to get some more playmakers at receiver to go along with some of the guys that we have. We've got some good name guys with, Juju and Devontae Parker, but I don't know how much longer those guys are going to want to stay here, number one, or how much time they really have left on their wheels, if you know what I mean. So we got a first and goal situation going here. Let's dump it down to Gesicki, who actually, surprisingly, from what I gathered from the stats, at least from the midpoint of the season, has been our most dynamic pass catcher, which is unfortunate to say. And that's another thing. Our receivers aren't really doing significantly well this season, it looks like, according to those stats. So we may need another dynamic playmaker. But we hit Stevenson on the screen pass, and we get into the end zone for our first touchdown of the game. The Colts did score a field goal, and we actually missed the extra point. Maybe looking for a new kicker.
Second quarter, this defense.
All right, well, we're in the second quarter. It's 3rd down and 5. These are, plays that Jones is going to have to make in order to try to prove that he wants to stay as a Patriot. Because his clock may be ticking right now. We get the first down with Gesicki once again, our security blanket tight end.
So here's the situation.
And now we've got a 3rd down and 1. Let's actually go to an inside zone here. Let's just run the ball, pick up the first, keep the clock going if we can. We still have all 3 of our timeouts. Let's go ahead and call one of those.
Just shy of the 20 in the red zone.
Let's hopefully they'll give us the rest of this drive. Still got 2 timeouts left. Clock's running though, so they didn't call a timeout. Devontae Parker coming on the slant. Get in there, Parker. And Devontae Parker's in the end zone for the touchdown. Mac Jones, his second passing touchdown of the first half. Nice job. Perfect execution on the 2-minute drill right there. We do make the extra point this time, but the Colts drove back. And they are now only down by 3, but we've got another 3rd down situation coming up right here. You know what? Let's give it to Stevenson. Let's see if we can pick this up. Power forward, yes. Stevenson gets it first down. Nice job. All right, so we got another 1st and 10 here.
Time to jump back in.
Able to run the ball pretty well with Stevenson when we have had the rushing lanes.
Red zone, 1st and 10. Stevenson now on 1st and 2.
Break that tackle. There we go. Got 7 yards on the run.
Shy of the 5 at the 6.
Good effort there by
from the 6 now on 2nd and 3. Looking to throw.
Juju, there we go. Juju Smith-Schuster gets in for the touchdown. 3 touchdown passes for Mac Jones so far. Doing a good job of keeping the pressure on the Colts. Here they come once again. The defense is getting shredded in this game. That's probably been the story all season, despite having young guys like him. Let's actually run it. Let's actually run it with halfback Sting here.
Stevenson.
And he actually was stopped short. We are in the 4th quarter now. Let's go with gut.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal.
Here, it's going to keep putting the pressure on the Colts.
Stevenson again.
And now Stevenson's in. He has 1 touchdown rushing and 1 touchdown receiving. Nice day for him on the ground. All right, we're still up 10.
No hesitation.
And this is 4th down for the Colts. This is essentially one of the final moments for them. Get him off the field here.
Here's Richardson.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me, guys? All right, well he didn't get into the end zone, but we just let up a huge play to hit him. Oh, wow, that's probably been the story for our corners. And the Patriots did score a few plays later, so we're in essentially kind of a put-away drive right here.
Decent amount of time on the clock, and the defense has all 3 timeouts. So can the offense manage things?
Open on the slant again. Nice job.
It's time to find out.
Nice job.
Get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The catch and run, good for 24 yards. Not totally home free yet, but they come up 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Stevenson.
Another run by Stevenson. He's almost at 100 yards rushing.
He has been tremendous all day long.
31st in the NFL in total offense, so that's not good.
3 points separating these two sides with
2-minute warning. We're up by 3. We just got to put this game on ice,
Patriots with the football as
and
we get
we'll be out of here.
Here now, 2nd and 4. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
Over 100 yards for
fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. It's 1st and goal, and a late touchdown at this stage could officially salt this one away. Here's Stevenson.
And Stevenson gets into the end zone for the clinching touchdown.
Patriot touchdown.
Nice job.
Stevenson, his 8th.
All right, we're up by 10. On defense, we just got to make one more stop on 4th down. And this game is all but over.
Going for it on 4th.
Pick it. There we go, guys. Picked off by Christian Gonzalez. I don't really care about running this thing back. Let's just get down and take some knees and win this game. We'll run it probably one more time, and then we'll just start taking the knees.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Now the Colts going to burn the 2nd of their timeouts as they head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they come up on 2nd down, and they can get another run like we just saw. Would likely put an end to this thing. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
3rd and 5.
They run once more with Stevenson. And he's just going to be short here.
It's 4th and inches, but they have no timeouts left, so this game is
4th and inches. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with
just
you.
because we can't do anything.
Right. He's found the end zone plenty of times.
Without turning the ball over.
I can find any
we'll just kick
the
a
call.
field goal.
He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Actually going to win this game by 2 scores. So we actually ended this thing, ended the season on a pretty high note. Although the Colts weren't playing for anything either, so this win doesn't really mean too much. It just means pride, but hey.
And this one is
wanted to play one game during the season, even if we didn't make the playoffs, which I kind of was afraid of because we didn't really make a bunch of serious moves this offseason because I really feel like we didn't really need to get too much better. I mean, going from a playoff team to just competing more in the playoffs is really the only thing that we could have done this season that I wanted to see as far as improvement is concerned. But, you know, that didn't happen. So now we kind of got to go back to the drawing board for next season on a few things. Most significantly, our quarterback. We got to find a guy that fits our scheme and that is going to be somebody that's going to take things to the next level. Because although Mac Jones played pretty well in this game, during the season, I'll have to look at his final stat line for the year, but tells me that he's not going to get any better than what he already is. So he's reached his ceiling, in my opinion. So now we got to find a quarterback who is, you know, younger. We may draft one, or we're going to look at free agency as well. If we can't find a very significant quarterback in free agency that's better than Mac Jones, then we're definitely going to look at the draft. We're probably going to have a decent pick, but I don't know how high we're going to have it. So we'll see. All right. Well, it's the playoffs, so let's go ahead and kind of follow along and see what happens. We've got the Chiefs against the Texans. We got the Jaguars against the Raiders. The Browns against the Dolphins. So two teams from the AFC East actually did make the postseason. The Bills have a bye. The Vikings actually have a bye, so they're having a pretty good season. So we have the Falcons against the Cowboys. We got the Eagles and the 49ers and the Rams and the Saints in the NFC. So year two, that's what the playoffs are looking like. All right, so let me actually take a look at Mac Jones's final stat line for the season. Really see kind of what he did. I know with that last game that we had, he did pretty well, but that doesn't mean he did very well throughout the rest of the season. Okay, well, he did throw for over 4,000 yards, so that's actually pretty good. He threw 23 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 61% completion percentage, 86.6 quarterback rating, yards per attempt. I mean, not really anything too spectacular. Although rated at 76 overall, to do all that is impressive, but did he make the Pro Bowl? Did he even receive any awards? We'll kind of see what things are looking like at the end of the year when they do kind of the yearly awards, because it'll also show if anybody from the Patriots was in the top 10 for any consideration for those awards, to kind of just see what we're looking like there. All right. So we finished the season actually 6-11. Let's go ahead and take a look at how the wild card round ended up in the playoffs. So the Cowboys beat the Falcons. We got the Niners beating the Eagles, and the Saints beat the Rams. So in the wild card, every higher seed lost in the NFC. Very interesting. And the Chiefs beat the Texans, Jaguars beat the Raiders, and the Dolphins beat the Browns. So in the AFC, more of the teams that were supposed to win actually took care of business. So divisional round. We've got the Bills against the Dolphins, a clash of AFC East teams. And then we've got the Chiefs and the Jaguars. NFC, we've got the Vikings against the Cowboys. We got the Saints and the 49ers. All right. Staff week is also, I think, right after the Super Bowl as well, because I think that's another thing. I think coaching changes are needed when this roster did not meet expectations. Well, the Cowboys beat the Vikings, so they're going to their first NFC championship. Well, they actually were in the Super Bowl, I think, last year. So they're going to the NFC championship game. The Saints beat the 49ers, so they're in the NFC title game as well. The Bills squeaked by the Dolphins. The Chiefs beat the Jaguars, so it's Bills, Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and Saints and Cowboys in the NFC Championship. So, interesting scenario for the playoffs this year. Very interesting. All right. Let's go ahead and advance to the NFC. Let's go ahead and advance. We'll see about Conference Championship Week, who wins both of those games. And then we'll move on to take a look at the Pro Bowl roster. We got the Bills and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. Wow. So I think Cowboys are going for their second. Well, they're going for. Well, they weren't. I think they were in the championship last year, but I think they lost to the Chiefs. Yeah, well, I'll have to look at the season recap from the first year. Let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster, see if any Patriots made it. So, no. So, Mac Jones did not make the Pro Bowl. He was not in there at all. What other Patriots made it, if any? Gesicki made the Pro Bowl, so he's the third-string tight end, so that's good. Looks like no linebackers. Yeah. Looks like we didn't have anybody else make the Pro Bowl except Gesicki. All right. So Mike Gesicki is our only Pro Bowler this year, our tight end. He was our best offensive weapon, it looks like, throughout the entire season. So I'm kind of glad that I decided to keep him. Although it looks like Hunter Henry made the Pro Bowl in the first year of whatever team that he was with now. But Gesicki was a little bit cheaper than retaining Henry, so that's why I decided to go with him. And I think Gesicki has some decent upside, if you ask me. So that's why I decided to go with him over Henry. All right, well, let's go ahead and get through Pro Bowl week. And we'll see what we've got going on for the Super Bowl. All right, so got this few yearly awards. We are in Super Bowl week. So the MVP went to Trevor Lawrence. Coach of the Year went to Arthur Smith of the Falcons. How about that? Offensive Player of the Year. No Patriots in here. So, yeah, let's go to Defensive Player of the Year. Any Patriots in there getting love? Nope. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Oh, Travion Henderson finished 6th, so that's not bad. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Any Patriots come close? Nope. Best Quarterback. Jones didn't even finish top 10. Okay. Ramondre Stevenson finished 8th for Best Running Back in the conference. So that's good. Somewhat good. Best Receiver. Nobody from Patriots. Best O-Lineman. Nope. Nope. Best Linebacker. No Patriots in there as well. Best Defensive Back. No Patriots either. Best Kicker. Yep. All right. So Mac Jones didn't even finish in the top 10 in terms of voting for Best AFC Quarterback. So I think that tells me all I need to know about moving forward. But Super Bowl, we've got the Bills against the Cowboys. The third time in NFL history those teams have matched up in the Super Bowl. Who takes this one? Is it Bills or Cowboys? Looks like the Cowboys won it 34-27. So let's take a look at the season recap screen. Let me actually go back to the previous year, actually. So the Cowboys made it to last year's Super Bowl, but they lost to the Chiefs by 3. This year they get back and they win it. The MVP was Leighton Vander Esch. So the Cowboys have now won 6 championships in their history, and the Bills have now lost 5 Super Bowls. Not good. Offensive Player of the Year, Christian Kirk. Defensive Player of the Year was Max Crosby. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Marvin Harrison Jr. of the Eagles. And Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jeremiah Trotter Jr. of the Steelers. All right. So that's it for the second season of the rebuild. The Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and upgrade players for the last time. This is mostly all the practice squad guys. We're going to go ahead and upgrade them. And now, after we get finished with, so we got staff week. So let me go ahead and take a look at staff moves, and let's see if maybe somebody got fired who we can potentially hire as a coach. So let's see. Anybody significant? So Robert Saleh got fired from the Broncos. Jonathan Gannon got fired from the Cardinals. Anybody significant? Brandon Staley got fired from the Chargers. The entire Colts staff got fired. Well, Mike Tomlin got fired by the Steelers. So we're going to make some moves. Big time. All right. So let's go manage staff. All right. Well, we had the same roster. Peter Gaffney, a.k.a. the fake Bill Belichick. You're fired. And you know what? While I'm at it, we're cleaning house. This is going to be a different rebuild than I'm going to do. I'm going to bring back. I'm going to do an entirely new coaching staff. First things first. Let's go hire a new head coach. Let's see. Do I want one of these guys? Brandon Staley may be the move. But, you know what? Well, bringing in Mike Tomlin would change up a lot of things. You know what? We're going to do... I don't know. I really want to get... Well, this offense still did decent at times last season, but we're going to be doing it with a new quarterback. So... Staff builder, offensive guru, defensive guru. Staff modifications. Player growth, talents too. Let's hire Brandon Staley as our head coach. Now, let's get a new offensive coordinator. Now, there's some guys here who we also could look at. Let's hire Jonathan Gannon as our offensive coordinator. Changing things up quite a bit. Now, defensive coordinator, let's see if there's anybody here who's kind of got a good name to him. Ian Alexander looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to hire, let's go with him. Let's go with Ian Alexander as our defensive coordinator. All right, so this is our new coaching staff. Big changes. So we hired Brandon Staley as our new head coach. He was let go by LA. We're hiring Jonathan Gannon as our offensive coordinator, and we're hiring Ian Alexander as our defensive coordinator. So let's go ahead, and we got a bunch of upgrades to do with getting these guys. So let's go ahead and start doing some upgrades with our new franchise staff. All right. So let's give some upgrades to Staley. At least for this first round, we're going to upgrade him significantly. We don't have enough for that. Don't have enough for that one either. All right. So those are all the upgrades we're doing with Staley. So I like it. Up the middle, staff builder, staff modifications, player growth, talents. Yeah. All right. So here we go. New coaching staff. Changing up a lot. Got a lot of stuff to go forward. Got a lot of stuff to take care of. Jonathan Gannon, Brandon Staley. So Brandon Staley is now the new head coach of the Patriots. We finally moved on from Gaffney or the fake Bill Belichick, whatever you want to call him. So it's essentially a brand new era here in New England. We got a lot of stuff to do. So I want to take a look at our roster currently based on the changes that we made, because now we got guys that technically don't fit the scheme that maybe Alexander and Gannon really want to go with. But we actually do still have some guys that fall into that category. Stevenson used to have the puzzle piece, but he doesn't anymore. So, you know, so there may maybe some more changes to be made after this season, but we'll see. When Tom Brady's at the helm, you know, this is where we're going, because right now he's the owner. All right. So we took care of upgrade. So we took care of our coaching staff, new entire staff, new staff. All right, so let's go ahead and view the retirements. Let's see if we had anybody retire from us. So Ryan Tannehill retired after 13 years. Well, he spent the year as our backup quarterback, so long, Ryan. Okay, so let's get to the negotiating screen. Let's take one more final look and see if there's anybody that I want to reconsider bringing back. So, I mean, Chuck Clark, you know, was there, but we have our strong safety already in Jabril Peppers, so we don't need to bring him back. Donovan Smith-Ross is a 1-year rental, so we're going to let him walk. We're not looking at bringing him back. Yeah, everybody else, everybody out here can leave. So we're going with that. We're letting everybody go, including Mac Jones. Mac, I'm sorry, man, but we're not getting anywhere with you. Even though we took you in the first round years back, it's time to move on. It's time to move on, and it's time to look at starting over a little bit, essentially. And we're going to start over with a new quarterback. So that's where we're going. All right. So before we end this live stream, I want to go ahead and take a look at the roster and see what are the big holes that we got to fill. Well, we only have one quarterback, and that's Bailey Zappi. He's not going to be our starter. We only have him for this year, too. So after this year, he's gone. Our running back situation, I feel like, is okay. If we find somebody else that's better than Stevenson, I'm not going to hesitate on bringing them in. We need to get another fullback because we didn't bring back Burton. We let him walk. Receiving core, if there's a high-octane receiver that's in the high 80s, we will definitely consider bringing him in. I do like everybody else that we have as far as young guys mixed with some guys who've been in the league for a little while, including guys like Juju and Bourne and Parker, but we need to have some overhauls there. Our tight end room is pretty solid as well. Left tackle, Trent Brown's still hurt, but he'll be back next season. Left guard, I think we need to upgrade. We still have David Andrews. I think we need to upgrade our right guard once again because we let Glasgow walk after 1 year. Mike, we're good at right tackle. We're gonna need a new left end. Even though we brought back Wise, we could still use a better right end. We got to get some of these positions up to like being in the 80s entirely. So that's what I feel like we're going to do. Our linebacking core I like, well, except for our right outside linebacker, because we let our starter walk, so we're going to get a new right outside linebacker. Got to look for somebody in the 80s there. Our corner situation is, I actually think, pretty solid. We probably don't need to do a whole lot of changes there. But, Christian and Jonathan Jones, they're guys in the 80s still. We got our, Bo Braid is our new free safety now because Adrian Phillips is walking, but I kind of planned that. Braid is only still a 67, so if there's a better free safety out there that's in the high 80s, we'll look to bring him in. Yes, Peppers is still hurt, but he'll be back next season at 86. I still like him. Our kicker and punter are still on contract. We're not going to really worry about upgrading that too much unless there's somebody big out there. But the biggest thing that we're looking to take care of and improve is our quarterback. because, Mac Jones, the era is over. We're going to look to bring in a new quarterback, and we're going to look to get some stuff done. So, that's what we're going. That's what we're going to go with. I didn't take a look at the mock draft to see what pick we have, but maybe I can see it here. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at maybe I can take a look somewhere else. I want to take a look and see kind of. Oh, okay, here we go. Mock drafts. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look and see what pick we have. We finished 6 and 11, so we don't have a very high pick, but it looks like there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that are actually projected to go pretty high. The highest the quarterback that's projected to go first, of course, is Drew Allar. He's projected to go number 10. And we are not on the clock until pick 18. And we're slated to take Antonio Gates Jr. That'd be a pretty interesting thing to do. Take Antonio Gates' his boy. But we don't really need a new tight end. So I'm kind of wondering about that. Maybe a deal where we have to look at Carson Beck out of Georgia is the next quarterback selected, projected to go after Allar. Oh, actually, Cade Klubink out of Clemson, he's projected to go at pick number 15 to the Raiders. Who else is projected to go? So Beck, and then Tyler Van Dice out of Miami, projected to go at 30th. All right. Well, we may have to settle for maybe Van Dice or maybe one of those other quarterbacks. I'd like to get, the best one in the draft, Drew Allar, but we don't have a pick high enough, and I don't think we have assets to go get that pick. We'd have to give up somebody like a Judon or a Peppers or somebody like that to get our way to the top 10 at least, like pick number 9. But that'd be a tall order to turn that around. So yeah. Let me take a quick peek at the free agent pool before we end this and see who's out there in terms of quarterbacks, because I want to see who's even out here. So the best rate. So Tua Tagovailoa is out there. But we would have to offer him a lot because his interest is not up there at all, but he does fit our scheme, and he's 90 overall. Okay, well, y'all are going to have to tune in the next live stream to see if we break the bank and possibly go after Tua. But you guys will find that out in the next live stream. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up year 2. We've got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do with the Patriots. 6 and 11 last season. Mac Jones is done as our quarterback. We're moving on. Is it going to be us being able to manage to get Tua Tagovailoa, or are we going to have to draft a rookie, or are we going to have to trade for somebody? We got to get a quarterback, and we don't have one. So we need to go out and get one way or another, and we got to figure out how we're going to do that. So in the meantime, thank you guys for checking out part 3 of the New England Patriots rebuild, and we also got a new coaching staff. Brandon Staley is our new head coach, the former Chargers head coach. He's more of a defensive-minded guy, yes, but he knows offense too. So we're going to see what can happen with Staley as our head coach moving forward. Now that we fired Gaffney, fake Bill Belichick, whatever you want to call him, he's done, so we're moving on. So thank y'all for checking out the live stream. This has been your boy Malin, and I'm out. Y'all have a good rest of your Monday.